Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another watch along. Apologies, I am a little bit late. I had to run a quick errand and didn't realize the time, so apologies for that. But game has just started between Barcelona and Leganes. Currently 0-0. It's within the first 8 minutes or so of the match. Barcelona going to be looking to continue our winning run in La Liga. Obviously, we drew against Real Betis last week, 1-1, in what was a very interesting match. But Barcelona tonight away again to Leganes with some rotations in the lineup. You can see that for Barcelona, you have Eric Garcia replacing Frankie de Jong. You have Ronald Araujo replacing Pau Cuarsí. Two rotations right there. You also have Fermin Lopez, but otherwise a very strong Barcelona lineup for tonight's match. And it's going to be a race to get the 3 points.
This is the way that Leganés have to balance things out with their opponents. It's all through organization, but also aggressiveness. They're playing with a 4-1-4-1 today. I was expecting 5 at the back, but they're playing 2 right backs, Rongier, and then...
All right, what do Barcelona and Leganés have for us today?
It's slightly more offensive than the 5-4-1 that they used at Montjuic in the first place.
Yeah.
How did our previous game against them go? I want to see. Head-to-head record. Oh, we lost to Leganés. Oh, yeah. Bro, that game was just... Yeah, it was a game where Robert Lewandowski, he missed like a billion chances. I remember.
Asking for the ball, the number 10.
Yeah.
Was the intended target. And he's the main danger man, isn't he, Alex? Rabat has been in great form of late.
I remember that match.
His last 3 games.
What's up, Sylvan? Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Then now that I remember, we did lose. We did lose. It was a period in which we lost against Leganes, and I think the week after we lost against Atletico Madrid. That's every game. This match, right off the bat, looks like it's going to be end and end with some controversy. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. See how it goes.
Took a step up and he scored a golazo against Getafe, for instance. And now
Golazo against Getafe.
The former Villarreal player. He has scored, as you said, 4 goals in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
All right. 3-0? Okay.
He's driving the ball and he's pointing to Jules Koundé where he wants him to move. This is not normal, and again, I'm bringing up the age of the player, Adrian, but this is not normal for a 17-year-old.
Not normal.
Being able to
yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
And bark orders to his teammates. This is something that a 30-year-old player does.
Yeah. Now, the aforementioned Dani Rabat taking on his man and beating him. Inigo Martinez, great work.
Oh my God, Chesney.
And Chesney into a
what a save.
What an opportunity for the home team.
Oh my gosh.
What a great run. It's Altimira himself who wins the first aerial duel.
Right there, he beat Inigo Martinez for pace.
Dani Rabat's speed.
Yeah.
Comes to the rescue. And then Altimira.
Good work, Chesney. What a save.
He raises his head, aims for his teammate.
It would have been awful
gets denied,
to start the match this early and already be down.
His retirement at Marbella a few months ago.
Oh, what a moment that would have been for Altimira, as you say, former Barcelona youth team player. Actually on loan from Villarreal here at Leganés.
Okay. Garcia really let his man go.
Chesney had to produce the first meaningful save of the project. Chesney still hasn't lost.
If that's Inigo Martinez, maybe a couple years earlier, a couple years younger, he gets there.
It's the 4th best start ever by any Barcelona
Shame.
player.
Prime Valdez was not all that. LMAO. Tech has beat him, in my opinion, as a shot stopper. Valdez's key attributes wasn't his shot stopping ability. I want to say was
Fabregas, who went 30 games unbeaten.
30 games unbeaten for Czech Fabregas.
Career in 2011-2012.
Okay.
That team.
No.
That was Pep Guardiola's last season at Barcelona. Finally, Fabregas.
What I want Barcelona to do this match
joined
is
the team
just
after a lot of years of
end it early and make
He started
rotations.
off pretty well, but that team lost a lot of steam in the last couple of months of the season. They got knocked out by Chelsea in the Champions League. They didn't even win the league. They were defeated by
I actually expect, Ronaldo to start both these games. The games against Leganes, which he did start, and the game against Borussia Dortmund. This game, he's resting Pau Cubarsí, and next game, I believe that he's going to be resting Inigo Martinez.
This current Barcelona team are on pace to overhaul. If they keep on scoring at the rate they have been, they've grabbed 145 goals in all competitions.
That is crazy, Adrian, because that was, as we said, the fourth year of Pep Guardiola, with the system totally learned, totally absorbed by the players. This is just the first month of Hansi Flick at the helm.
Yeah. Now, Rabat in the fray again. Altamira taking over once more, trying to find Diamande.
Leganes, they're attacking Barcelona through that through Jules Koundé's right hand side.
They're attacking teeth again.
They're using the pace of their players.
They have found a way at the back of.
I expect Cubarsí play next game and Araujo to start for Madrid. No, my stance is, I think Pau Cubarsí is going to start next game, but I think that Inigo Martinez is going to be rested, because when you're winning 4-0 up, you do want to make some rotation, but at the same time not weaken the team too heavily. And I think, bringing in Araujo, that's not going to be a rotation, let's say. You can see maybe a Araujo start, a Ferran potentially. Maybe start Ferran instead of Lewa.
Yeah, this is the kind of chances that you don't want to miss when you're facing Barcelona. If you want to replicate what you did at Montjuic, you need to seize those chances. That's why Borja Jimenez is so desperate.
Well, that was the recipe at Montjuic, wasn't it? Score early and then hang on for dear life.
Oh, yeah, I forgot how badly we slapped Dortmund. Bro, what a result. What a result for Barcelona midweek. That basically means that,
hasn't happened too many times this season.
We can go into that second leg with ease of mind. Obviously, there's a possibility for Dortmund coming back. Very, very, very minimal, but Barcelona, they have a huge, huge advantage. It's basically Inter facing the semis. Yeah. But I wouldn't discard necessarily a Bayern comeback. The reason why I'm not so optimistic about that is because Bayern, they're plagued with injuries. Absolutely plagued. No Musiala, no Pavlovic, I believe. No Neuer. No who else? Who am I forgetting? Alphonso Davies. Everything.
Actually, the only games when he wasn't.
Bayern is so bad. I mean, even then, Bayern, they had the opportunities to go ahead in the scoreline, even if they're having a rough season, even though they're doing really well in the league. Leganes are really dangerous on the counter, and man, those wingers are fast.
He was desperate. He was trying to tell.
Yeah, they have some pace on the wings.
Faster. This is something that Barcelona will have to do, especially in the middle of the park, where Leganés are.
What's Barcelona's fixture list for these next coming weeks? So we're gonna have Dortmund on Tuesday, next weekend against Ceuta, then against Mallorca, and then Saturday. Okay, so these two games right here, against Celta de Vigo and Mallorca, are games in which I expect Barcelona to make some rotations in view for this huge, huge game, which is going to be the Copa del Rey final on Saturday.
Making a diagonal run from the left and leaving all the space for Alejandro Valde. That will be new.
Wow, April is packed with games. Absolutely packed.
For Alejandro Valde, for not allowing him to break into free space.
Koundé and Yamal trying to combine. Yamal.
They're not doing good at the league. Do not get fooled by it.
Hold
on. I want to see. Aren't they top, though? Table. Yeah, they are top. They're ahead by 6 points. No, one thing is performance and then, standing. Because in the past couple of games, lost against
His body language
Bochum.
obvious that he wasn't happy with his teammates' decision.
Oh, they had a red card.
Now Danny Rava. Chesney had to get there, wasn't to know.
1-1 against Union Berlin, 2-0 against Borussia Dortmund. Oh, they drew today.
Ultimately was.
Excellent positioning by Chesney.
See, that's the thing.
Was offside this time. Neither Koundé or Araujo, who are the usual suspects when that high line gets beaten, they were just keeping the distance with.
They're first, but the performance does not reflect it. Trusted them, they're not that good. Oh, Fermin! No, good try, Fermin.
Lopez had peeled away, albeit from
I mean, they get results when it matters. I wouldn't count them out if I was Inter. Precisely, it's a 1-goal advantage. Like all the other ties, I would say are pretty much over, except that Inter tie. Even if they aren't playing well, it's still Bayern. You know.
This is how Lewandowski scored. One of.
I still see Inter going through, but I'm not like necessarily saying, oh, it's a guarantee. I think Real Madrid would do it. They just can't be written out. Wow. So Thomas, you're going for a Real Madrid comeback.
Wednesday night, Barcelona just had their scintillating best. They've set a high bar this season in terms of performance, isn't it? But that may well have topped the lot.
This is the most exciting part for Barcelona fans. That you can tell that this team keeps improving, getting better and better.
Front trident all on the score sheet against the Germans. Lewandowski with 2, Yamal and Rafinha, albeit from about an inch out. No way through here inside the first 20 minutes. Hansi Flick has never had a team do a league double over him in his managerial career. He's got one more obstacle to overcome tonight to secure that record for another season. This is the last team Barcelona are facing who have already beaten them once this season.
The only reason Real Madrid were able to win against Leganes was because the refs that intervened. Leganes, they made it difficult for Real Madrid.
Take a tumble. Diamande on the chase. He would have to be extraordinarily pacey to be able to reach that.
That's another element. Look
what a tackle from Inigo. What a tackle. It's Real Madrid. They have the heritage. It's Real Madrid in the Champions League. Yeah, 100%. But I expect the deepest, low block, Haram ball, Satan ball, terrorism ball, whatever you want to call it from Arsenal. Oh, the deflection almost went in. Dimitrov with the save. Nah, it's simple. Arsenal, they're not conceding 3 goals.
You can tell how afraid they are.
Okay, if they do concede 3 goals, they are scoring at least.
Challenge him just in case that allows free space for all.
If they concede 1 more, it's over. Yeah, that's the thing. Real Madrid, what they would need to do is they would have to score within like the first. Okay, scoring like the first 20 minutes or so. No, score within the first 20 minutes, and then at least go into the halftime with maybe like a 2-goal lead, something like that.
The midway point of the first half, and very much the pattern has been firmly established, Alex, for this one at Butake.
Barcelona with the ball. They're floating Ronald Araujo. Notice this. They will never just close down on Araujo when he's driving the ball up the field. They have targeted him as the weakest link of Barcelona's build-up.
Yeah.
And they allow him to get the biggest share of the ball. It's different when Inigo.
Because 2-goal lead by that time doesn't mean. Huh.
You have now Eric Garcia, one of the 2 changes today. Araujo was the other.
To be honest, I would much rather face Bayern than Inter. That sits back all match long. And that low block can be really annoying. Inter is a tricky test. Inter, I feel, would be the more difficult of the 2 opponents. just because of their style of play. And then Pedri just absolutely killed Balde there. But also because of Simone Inzaghi.
Not really.
He does a great job tactically,
We pointed that out, that they need
setting up his team for those big matches.
If they want to win this game easily, this is the chance, the deflection, and good reflexes by Dimitrovic, who was also one of the best players of Leganés when they wanted to do it.
Inter or Bayern. Bayern has always been our bookie man, in Europe. This season we've absolutely smashed them, but that does play in the mind. Inter, tricky opponent. Last time we faced them, it was like a 1-0 victory for Inter. Wrongfully so. We were absolutely robbed. Çalhanoğlu should have been sent off in that game. Nice Araujo. Ansu Fati, we should have gotten a penalty. We should have not lost that game in the San Siro. And the game in the Camp Nou, that was where Piqué was having a disaster class.
This is the moment Araujo knows that
you underestimate Inter? No, I think Inter are going to be very difficult.
To that side.
Inter is not really a good team, but they are very organized. That's all.
Leganés make their first corner. Wow, it was a free header.
Oh wow. Okay, so NJ is saying that what's it called?
To escape the attention of
that they're not as good as people make them out. AC Leganés says they are as good as people make them out.
At the age of 18, making his
well, regardless of what your opinion is, to be reaching the semifinals of the Champions League means that you're a good team.
He's actually a player who's from the Ivory Coast who grew up in the United States.
You're not a team that's going to be taken lightly. Regardless who Barcelona, I believe they face in the semis, I think we would have the upper hand.
Jeff Lanau, the owner and the president of the Blue Crow Sports Group.
He was signed this winter, transfer window. He has only played 2 games for Leganés B, for the B squad, and he's been immediately.
Pedro wanted to find Fermin Lopez right there.
This is what Leganés want to do with young players. So getting a lot of talent from unexpected places, put them on the spotlight, and then selling them. They want to become, ideally, the next Sevilla. Like when Sevilla 15 years ago started to import a lot of Brazilian players that then developed into great superstars.
Ooh.
Lewandowski made that darting run to meet it. Rosier.
Fermin Lopez with the corner. Okay.
Follow-up.
Oh, whoa.
Delivery. Rafinha able to
no.
And Canada shot off of Araujo and behind.
That was a great pass from Fermin Lopez to Rafinha.
Right-footed, he could have tried the volley. That ball was so sweet for him, but he had to chest it down and get ready, position himself for his stronger profile, for his left foot. That's why he couldn't get the ball the first intention.
Oh, great pass from Fermin.
Some cross wires between Cisse and Diamande there. Last time Barcelona beat Leganés in league play, if you go back to June of 2020, they were last in the top flight. They won 2-0. Interesting to look at the goal scorers that day.
Well, it was like Messi
and Ansu Fati.
Messi and Ansu Fati, wow.
The day when Ansu Fati was named the successor, the heir of Leo Messi himself.
Well, a foot left in by Javi Hernandez.
Foul. They can try to punish us. Doesn't mean squat if we win because of our own performance. Arsenal PSG going to be a good match though in itself. That's also going to be another exciting tie. Ooh. Hey, that has to be a yellow, no?
As well for Girona, he can play as a center back or as a left back, left winger. He got caught here.
That has to be a yellow right there.
Lamine Yamal.
Okay.
He's been a target so far. Different players.
I feel that Aston Villa, they could have had a chance if they didn't concede so late. I think that just like killed any chance of a comeback.
Hanging delivery and a barely disguised nudge in the back there.
That's too obvious. Both hands at the back of Javier Hernandez. It's a clear foul.
Not really a yellow, but it's a foul for sure. I mean, I'm of the mindset if you show studs, then that's a yellow.
44 meters. Barcelona is usually one of the widest teams in La
Liga. I'm consistent with that mindset.
They need to stay wide.
I don't know. Villa looks good, but this PSG is dangerous. Precisely, but I think that Villa, for example, they're very confident of getting a result at home, but can they score necessarily 3 goals? Because PSG are for sure scoring. They are for sure scoring.
Reasonably expecting one of his busier nights of the season. There's not that much to do so far through the first half an hour.
So it's whether Villa can, get a 3-1 necessarily.
Spend a single cent in transfer fees last summer.
Not all of them are yellow. I mean, yeah, precisely, NJ. But I'm consistent. I'm consistent with my thought process. I think studs up, regardless of what it is a yellow card. But that's my opinion.
Garcia with a little pivot, providing Yamal with the stage again.
One thing Barca cannot do is get caught in the counter and get exposed.
So well worked. Yamal didn't quite have the angle to squeeze it past Dimitrovic.
There's almost no space. That's why Íñigo Martínez, the center backs, need to drive the ball up the field as much as possible to force the Leganés defenders to make a decision, to close them down on them, and then open up all the spaces. Lamine Yamal in inner spaces as well, abandoning that.
Inch is very dangerous with that.
Popping up in unexpected areas. Something they need to try something.
And they have 2 strikers who can make things difficult. Thuram and Lautaro.
This Leganés squad is very well organized.
Certainly they've set up shop to try and make life as difficult as possible for this free-scoring, high-octane.
Especially how Barrella and Bastoni cut through passes. No, those guys are amazing. Bastoni and Barrella, 2 fantastic players.
Lamine Yamal, best player in the world at the moment.
Yeah. Tell me who else could compete with him? Maybe Rafinha, but they play for the same team. And when it comes to Rafinha, it's more about the numbers than the real impact. Despite he's been outstanding, but don't get me wrong. If there's a game changer in Barcelona, there's someone that can really make an impact on the team and on the opposition. That's Lamine Yamal, despite 17.
Did we mention his age?
Sometimes.
Good work, Kunde. Duran and Lautaro can be a threat for the opponents and the team itself. Yeah, they have those bozo moments, but at the same time, they're the type of players who can just like turn up. Just look at Lautaro's finish against Bayern. Outside of the boot, top bins, quality finish from the striker. And then Thuram in the build-up. He was the one who
Super Pepino made an appearance at the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Who was key in the assist in the pass for Lautaro.
It's funny because I think we've discussed this already, but a pepinazo, a big pepino, a big cucumber, in Spanish can also be something super cool or super strong. When you score a golazo from, I don't know, 30 yards, it's like, oh, what a pepinazo. What a big cucumber.
No foul. Nice. Let the play go on. They become inconsistent at times. Yeah, that's one of the things. I would say if they're a solid, they're like a solid 8. You know, they can give you 8.
Just take it up a notch or two.
You know, like they're that type of quality striker. But it's the inconsistency at times that can harm them. There was one game where I thought it took 7 8 shots. Yeah, I mean, like that's part of their game.
Cross deep, but nobody home. No problems at all for Javi Hernandez. He'll let it just run out of play, and the crowd are rather enjoying what they're seeing.
There's a man down. It's Oscar Rodriguez. I know it's Aurelio Altimira. Sorry. After this dispute, or maybe it's Dani Raba. A man just
no foul.
Around while Barcelona were attacking. That's why the crowd were so angry, and it was Dani
Raba. One thing this team Leganes do, Alex, is raise their game.
He didn't even do anything to you.
Spain. Talked about how they've already beaten Barcelona at Montjuic. They beat Atletico Madrid here by a 0-0, and they took Real Madrid mightily close, didn't they? Twice in the league and in the Copa del Rey, only losing 3-2 on both occasions.
Shame we won't get to see PSG versus Mbappe. No, we won't. I would love. Imagine if PSG win the year that Mbappe leaves. That'd be crazy.
This season in Spain.
Yeah, they defeated Atletico de Madrid here, and Antoine Griezmann missed a penalty in the dying minute of the game. This is a replay of the best chance of the game. It was Route 1 football with Altimira just winning that long ball sent by...
Good work, Chesney.
And Altimira following up and receiving the ball after that great move by Dani Raba on the left-hand side.
Now, last thing I want to see is that. No, obviously. The one thing I want to see is Barcelona win everything. That's the first thing. If we're talking about necessarily the worst possible outcomes, you know, if there's a club I never want to see win the Champions League, it's PSG. Selvin, but if you were to choose PSG or Arsenal, if you were to choose one of those teams, one of those two teams to win a UCL, which team would you rather be? That's like choosing between a rock and a hard place. You know, you're losing with both options. Arsenal fans would become insufferable, man. Insufferable. PSG, they'd be talking about, oh my God, greatest French team of all time. Great, you know. It will happen at some point. I mean, of course. I mean, you would expect so. The Champions League is, you know, after 100 tries, you expect one or two of them to actually materialize in a trophy.
Yeah, I don't think Eric Garcia was the right choice for.
Will we start the Camp Nou next season? Most likely, yep. Right now, the updates in regards to the Camp Nou construction is that it's going to be towards the end of the season where Barcelona, they are aiming to play some games, but unlikely.
You want someone with more ability to play.
Raba trying to play the right ball. Was there a trip there on Altimira?
Nothing.
Howls of derision around Butaka here from the locals. Altimira, for the second time in as many minutes, is down.
Nothing.
It's outside the box, that's for sure. But he could have easily blown the whistle. There was a contact.
And they're calling for a penalty. What?
He's describing in graphic detail, isn't he?
Arsenal? Okay, so AC goes for... No, don't tell me that Ball is injured.
The player involved. Barcelona, he's going to need some time as well.
That was a great pass. Straight into Ronald Araujo's legs. There's a nutmeg. And yeah, there's a clear contact by Alejandro Valde on Altimira.
Yeah. It was possibly inadvertent. It came as Altimira was trying to get his body ahead of Balde.
Okay, so hate for Arsenal and hate for PSG. Fuck Arsenal, let them be the only club with no European trophy. I mean, I don't want success to go to neither of the two teams. I don't like any of them. I don't like Arsenal and I don't like PSG.
Promotion, doesn't he? Got this club up as second division champions last year. He got Cartagena up from the third to the second division. He almost got Deportivo La Coruña promoted too.
Ooh. Yeah, Martin warming up for Balde.
What is known in Spanish football as a riazorazo, or the blow at Riazor. They had everything in their hands to get promoted.
Okay, Gerard Martin coming on for Balde.
Playing at home, they had all the home advantage, all the fans, and they lost to Albacete.
Is Diamande trying to make something happen?
Good work, Araujo.
A deflected shot in the end off of Yamal that could have gone anywhere. It does provide a.
Dembele winning the Champions League wouldn't sit right with me. No.
Constantly trying to penetrate through that left-hand side through Diamande, to Dani Raba, just drifting from the center to that side. They're targeting Zulkunde's back. Oh, and this is worrying for Barcelona, not because Gerard Martin is not fit for this game, but because of this. If Alejandro Valde is injured, there's a lot of games, important games ahead.
Maybe just a precaution. We shall see as the corner comes in.
Hopefully it is just a precaution and everything. It doesn't seem that Balde is picked up a heavy injury because he's walking perfectly. If it was something serious, he wouldn't be able to walk. Hopefully it's just like, a little knock or something.
Nice switch by Javi Hernandez. Cisse trying to do the same. Couldn't quite do it. And it's the breakout on here. It's
right here, counter from Barcelona. Lamine Yamal. Find Rafinha.
Pounding his way forwards.
Oh, Leo, that touch is so poor.
Lewandowski arriving at full tilt. Couldn't quite control.
It was a heavy touch by Lewandowski. And this is the first time that Barcelona were allowed to attack in a transition. It all starts here. How they dispossess Íñigo Martínez, sharp pass connecting with Pedri, and then off to the races. But look at the recovery by Leganes' players. That was great. And this heavy touch by Robert Lewandowski ends up with Renato Tapia just breaking this counterattack.
Now then, our coverage of La Liga continuing tomorrow. You can see Real Madrid's next game. And it's potentially tricky, isn't it? They have to go north, play away from home against Deportivo Alaves, who themselves are struggling against a drop. One of the teams that Leganés are battling with. 9:45 a.m. Eastern start time right here on ESPN+.
Shouldn't be easy. Last year, Lucas Vázquez was the hero with a header goal in stoppage time. So it's never easy when Real Madrid travel to Mendizorroza to face Alaves.
It looks as though it's becoming pick two teams from three down at the bottom. There's a bit of a gap being developed, isn't it? Leganés, Alaves, and Las Palmas all seem to be in the race to avoid the drop. One parachute available. This is Raba driving forward and showing why he's been
oh my goodness
so good of late.
Ronald Araujo losing that loose ball with Diomande, and then Raba taking one touch too many, losing shooting angle, and that's why when he finally takes the shot, it goes wide. it was a
Yeah,
matter of
look how
speed.
deep Leganes are defending.
Just closing down on him. And
What is that, a 5-4-1?
He's a great player.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Crosses.
Fermin, no, good
And a
try.
header for Fermin Lopez, which he probably should have done a lot better with. Didn't seem to make the right connection.
No, it wasn't a clean contact. Rafinha with space. That cross was perfect, sharp, with a lot of curl. So Dimitrovic couldn't get out of goal and catch it. And it was, I mean, Fermin barely goes beyond 170 centimeters. He's a short guy. You are not expected him to head those balls into the back of the net.
Well, I've got a stat for you, Alex. I think you might enjoy. Goals in La Liga since February the 15th. Robert Lewandowski, 6. Kylian Mbappe, 6. Danny Raba, 6.
Wow.
Those are your leaders since February the 15th.
Danny Raba's best goal-scoring season was last season. He scored 7 goals, but in Segunda División.
Yeah.
Wow. Best goal scoring season, only 7 goals.
Final minute of the first half here. Barcelona very far from having things all their own way here. Here's Yamal. Inigo
No.
Martinez. Just a fraction away from connecting with Koundé.
Unfortunate. Not able to get clean contact with that.
They just announced it. This is the last chance of Leganes with this shot by Danny Raba. I wouldn't be surprised if in the second half Barcelona don't have a proper holding midfielder and they play with maybe Gavi, Pedri, and Fermin, or even Gavi, Pedri, and Ferran Torres.
I'd bring on Ferran. There's no reason why to have Eric Garcia and Pedri for this type of game.
Here goes Raba again.
Nothing, bro. Nothing.
Again, it deemed a fair challenge. The referee got that one right with Koundé, but well won back by Cisse. Seydou Cisse delivering the cross.
No, nothing. Nothing.
Well, Yan Diomande trying to make headlines on his debut.
Nothing.
A little bit of a swan dive, perhaps. The Ivorian.
What happened here?
Let's see if Ronaldo Araujo gets there a little bit late. Yeah, he was diving.
Absolutely diving. Nothing.
He was anticipating the challenge, wasn't he? Alex, that never actually arrived. It's a lovely smooth pass for Koundé. But couldn't wrap his foot around the ball. Easy for Dimitrovic. And Hansi Flick will have a little bit of thinking to do at halftime, won't he, here?
And it might sound silly, but this team is missing Pau Cubarsí so badly, because the ability of the 18-year-old to just drive the ball up the field, to replicate what Íñigo Martínez does on the other sector, that makes things way harder for the opposition to kind of control this build-up. Here, Leganés have it easy. All they have to do is blocking the pass to Pedri, blocking the pass to Íñigo Martínez, and allow just Ronald Araujo to get the ball. Barcelona needs something different in that position. And
okay, so what do? Do you bring Eric Garcia deeper onto the field? You take off Ronald Araujo, you bring on Ferran, because Barcelona right here, apart from the chance from Jules Koundé, we haven't really created that much, and the second half is going to be pretty similar. So what? You move Eric Garcia back, you bring on Ferran, have a double pivot of Pedri and Fermin Lopez. You could do that.
Low percentage cross really back in by Pedri. And then Rossier hurdling the challenge and coming up with it. Raba couldn't stay on side, wasn't needed, and Rama may be able to provide the finish and still might. Poked away by Rafinha at the vital moment. Barcelona at full stretch. As the first half ends with Leganes on the front foot.
There we go.
To digest here.
Halftime.
The first 45 minutes, Alex, that sees Barcelona held in check.
They need to be sharper when attacking and have better defensive transition when defending. Leganés are sending signs. They are able to score on the counter-attack. It's up to them to prevent that.
Well, should be some interesting talk at halftime. We'll have our ESPN FC crew, Dan Thomas with Craig Burley in the studio. Sid Lowe is at the stadium. Butaki to give us his thoughts. Luis Garcia as well.
Okay, halftime, guys. Halftime. Pretty good game so far. Leganes playing up a match. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're defending 5 in the back and just focusing on counter-attacking a Barcelona team that's so advanced, obviously so much easier for you. But guys, I'll be posting the link in the on YouTube and as well towards the community section, post section, where we will be able to discuss to everyone who does want to join. Feel free. Crazy dive right here. Crazy. Look at that. He doesn't even he's falling before he even gets contacts. What's up, Vanley? Leganes is playing well. Low block is satanic. Absolutely, man. So difficult to break down. It's just one bank of 5, and then ahead of it you have a bank of 4. Makes it impossible to attack. Dembele, after we supported his clown ass just to turn up with PSG, still blows my mind. Oh no. This may sound harsh, but Ronald Araujo has always been a liability to start with. When you're playing against against a back 5, start with Cuarci and then switch later to Araujo. That's an option. That's an option. What you could do in that sense is just, as the commenters that were saying, you can bring back Eric Garcia deeper and then bring on another midfielder, maybe like a Paulo Torre, a Gavi, a Ferran. But what's up, NJ? Welcome
Hello.
to the stream. How are you, man?
Good. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thoughts on the first half? It's been, I would say, a very, uneventful half because Barcelona, they haven't really created that much chances. Leganes, they've had half chances here and there, in which they're trying to hit Barcelona on the counter. Not really able to do much. You had that one good save from Szczesny right here.
Yeah, for sure.
The start of the match. But other than that, not really much to say about the game. Well,
Yeah,
what do you think?
You can't really say anything about it because Leganes, even though they're like what 18 or whatever, there's still a league team to play against them to take serious. They show that if you want to win, you gotta like perform against us, which they are performing, by help stopping us from scoring and making plays, which is fair enough to them. But for us, yeah, we need to do better at finding spaces more. And like there were many times where like when we not really lose focus. It's that when they like catch us like out of nowhere, then they just start counter attacking that we start chasing them. Like we shouldn't be doing that, but at the same time, it happens. But yeah, like overall, we just have to like. I feel like we need to find some players in from the second half to like change the.
What do you think Barcelona should do in the second half? Because I'm reading some of these comments, and I'm looking at this team overall, and I think this game would be absolutely perfect for Dani Olmo. I think this would be the type of game in which he thrives, able to unlock.
Yeah, Dani Olmo, with a first, I would say Ferran Torres. Yeah, after Ferran Torres.
Ferran. I'm thinking of possibly like a Paulo Torre. I think Paulo Torre would do really well.
Yeah, Paulo Torre would have suited very well.
I'm looking at Paulo Torre. I'm looking at necessarily bringing Eric Garcia playing in that center back spot and then bringing in Paulo Torre and just have that. Because, Leganes, they're trying to hit Barcelona on the counter, but, they're not really creating that much
still question,
danger.
Though. So we're going to sub off, though, at the center back, though. We're going to sub off then.
I would sub off Araujo, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll bring off because I don't think that he's having a bad game. It's
No,
just that I just think that Barcelona they need a different profile in that back line.
yeah, they need
You know,
they need Ericsson, playmaking at the back more than
exactly. We
because
need
again, if you put Eric in the DM, you just make him to be like the extra center back, not really like a creator. So
precisely,
yeah,
and this to say like even though Eric Garcia, he can give those great passes, he's
yeah,
not necessarily a creator such as Pedri or maybe
yeah.
like a Paulo
He's more like
Torre.
a, how do you say this, like a emergency
Like,
playmaker, like
uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah, I view him as, let's say, like a Marca Soto, for example, a destroyer with maybe a little bit better technical ability
yes,
in some
exactly,
sense.
yeah,
Uh-huh, in
in a
some
way,
sense.
yeah,
Uh-huh. I'm just looking at some comments. Manley says, Araujo saved us multiple times today.
yes.
Stop the
We're
Araujo
not we're
slander.
not saying it's bad at all. It's just that we're just lacking the creative in the back though. That's the only
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, he's not
As I
playing
said,
bad. He's not playing bad whatsoever.
Araujo is doing a great job. It's just that
Yeah,
in order to break down Leganes, I think we're gonna need different profiles on the team, and this is where I'm looking at the bench and what options we do have to try to
mm,
impact the game. Um, Theater Clowns, he says this is just my opinion, but I think Rafinha should play in the middle. He's been isolated, and Fermin should go on the left. Fermin struggles against low block, so let him play on the wing. AC Lionel says Leganes is killing us with that counter, and if Leganes was a lot more clinical with their shots, like an Inter, we would at least
yeah,
be down a goal. Okay, solid right there. Leganes always put in a diagonal from the wings when they counter. They have some very pacey players out there on the
oh
wings.
yeah, they do,
They're
yeah.
able to get in behind. You saw them, beat Inigo Martinez for pace, beat
Okay,
Jose Kunde
oh,
for pace.
okay, yeah. That part when the Inigo one, he wasn't really that fast. It's just that on the way the guy turned in the box, that's where he beat Inigo. He didn't. He wasn't really. Inigo wasn't really like far away from him. He was just a little like one like 0.5 inch of like of distance, but the way the player like turned in the box, that's where he beat Inigo.
Hmm. Yeah, right here. Rajo wasn't playing bad. We just need a different type of player in this match because
Yeah,
Leganes aren't playing deep. I would say those are some possible substitutions
yeah,
that Hansi Flick he can make. I'm maybe thinking of taking out Lewandowski as well for Ferran,
yeah,
potentially if he doesn't want to be that aggressive. Because I'm
yeah.
just looking at this match already, and I can tell, like saying, hey, if Barcelona they don't get a goal in the first opening 10 minutes, it's just going to be the same as the first
Yeah, it's
half.
gonna be fucking hard to beat them.
Exactly. It's going to be difficult to break them down, and thus, I don't necessarily want a game where Barcelona, they're trying to break them down, and then it comes like to the last final minutes where
Yeah.
it ends in a nil-nil, something like that. That's just
Uh,
I hate those type of games. But I want to talk about Balde for a second because Balde he did go off injured in the first half, and I haven't seen any reports as of yet in regards to Balde, but thankfully it didn't look anything too serious. Well, I would
he
say.
just tired, probably just tired. I guess he cramps. I would say
Let me see if I can find any
probably a
news
cramps,
on Balde.
something like that.
Uh huh. I want to see because J. Martin he came on to replace him,
Yeah,
and I would say that
yeah, discomfort or cramps. Yeah,
just something
probably
like
just
that.
exhausted a lot. Because if he was badly injured, then he would have won't be able to walk properly. Then he would be like super limping to, off the field, but not really. He was just probably just tired because of the
Let me
amount of
see.
running.
Let me see. See news for Balde. Um, no news as of right now. Okay. So I'm guessing we'll get some more news.
Probably just discomfort.
Yeah, yeah. So something of that nature. But also towards the end of the match, I want to give credit to Rafinha because he had like a clutch tackle right here.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. He did.
towards the end of the match, in which it could have been very dangerous for Barcelona in this situation right here. Credit
Yeah,
to
man.
Rafinha for tracking back right there.
Yeah, hey man. Yo, you gotta take the risk, Just
Thank
so be it.
you. Uh-huh.
So be it. If it's a red, it's a red. I guess you came there to like try to stop. It is what
Uh-huh.
it is.
Vanley says, this is why I don't fear the disgruntled players when we get in the left winger this summer. Olmo never being available will make that no issue. And obviously, it's better to have an abundance of good players rather than have
Exactly. Yeah.
a lack of availability.
Yeah.
And one more thing that's bothering me is that Leganes players are just diving and disrupting the play.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they're gonna try to do.
Yeah. I mean, hey, game is a game. You know, they're gonna do that all the whole time just to make the players mad. It is what
Uh
it
huh.
is.
Yeah, precisely. NJ, who do you think has been Barcelona's best player so far in the first half?
Shit, man. I would say Chesney, bro. That's how bad.
Chesney.
That's how bad we are right now, bro. That's
Oh,
how.
I mean, that's a solid shout.
Okay, maybe Araujo for his defense.
Araujo for his defensive action. Right now, I'm looking
Yeah.
at the ratings on FootMob, and the highest rated player is Jules Koundé right now. Um,
Yo, Kun is getting cooked, bro. What do you mean he's getting the highest rate?
I mean, I'm just looking at what it says right
Yeah,
here. It's
I know, I know,
7.4
I
for
know, I know.
Koundé.
But then what the hell are you smoking, bro? What the hell? Yo, he's getting cooked. He's getting cooked in the win.
Ron Araujo 7.3. I would say Szczesny, he's been key in that one
Yeah.
save. But overall, it's just one of those games where just
Yeah.
it's difficult to break them down.
You know what, man? If you said that you're just annoyed that like we
Hmm.
can't like get a one good pass against them, like yeah, that's the only thing. But they're not really playing bad. It's just that they're like it's just like, being organized very well at this game. Like they're not giving you spaces whatsoever. They
Okay.
just kind of not. I don't know, man. I would say bring I don't know if this is a game for Gabi though, because it makes I don't know.
Yeah, but right now I'm looking at the bench. Right now, the
Yeah, yeah,
bar options that Barcelona they do have, we have Christensen as an option. So it's like, let's say Hansi Flick doesn't want to, remove, let's say, Eric Garcia there, and instead he wants to sub out Ron Rajo. What he can do is he can bring on Andres Christensen. Maybe there
yeah,
have some playmaking ability in that back line.
yeah.
That's one of Christensen's strength.
Oh wait,
You could bring
bro.
up Paco Garcia.
Yeah, I'm thinking right. Put Eric Garcia in the back, right? Then put Gabby with Pedri, then De Jong, I guess, in the 10. If that's
Yeah.
if that was the case.
You can give Frankie Young like 30 minutes,
Yeah,
something
20
like that.
30. Yeah, it should be enough for him to make at least one or two plays.
And in the attack, I doubt
Sure.
that Ansu's going to be getting minutes
No,
with
no, no, no,
this
he's not.
scoreline.
It's Marky Ferran.
Yeah, it's the options that are going to be coming off in the attack is most likely going to be Ferran Torres.
Yeah, watch
I think
Ferran like scored like the most ugliest score in the win of the game.
I could care less how he does
Yeah,
it.
I know,
I just need
yeah.
him to get the win. I
Yeah,
just need him to get the
exactly, yeah.
win. Uh huh.
Wait, how many goals would that be if Ferran scored though?
For Ferran, I believe he scored 16 goals. He's right now up
In
to
in
16.
the in the league, though, in the league, La
Oh,
Liga.
in just the league? Let me check right now. In the
That's
league, he's up to 9 goals. 9 goals.
not bad though for a backup. You're not bad at all.
Yeah. So
Nine
9 goals
goals.
in 852 matches, 3 assists as well. I think that's solid.
Yeah, solid. Yeah, for what 3 assists and yeah for a backup. Yeah, well, that's really good bro, for a backup.
Hmm.
What's the most what's the goal tally line though in La Liga though? Like
The
what's
goal
first,
tally?
second? Yeah,
Oh,
like
in La Liga, so in the stats, it's Robert Lewandowski. Robert
yeah,
Lewandowski 3 goals
yeah.
ahead of Kylian Mbappe.
And who's
For the
third though?
for third, it's Budimir from Osasuna with 15.
And wait, can you check the other one? The after Budimir? Who's after Budimir now?
Budimir, it's Rafinha with 13.
Then who
Then
else?
Sanset with 13.
Sunset is really good.
Ayosi
Yeah.
Perez with 12. Julian Alvarez has 12 goals. Sorloth with 11. Luca Bacchio with 11. Kiki Garcia with 11. Okay. So you have
Okay,
the goal scorers right there.
okay, so yeah, freaking France. I mean, that far away from the normal starters of La Liga players. Then
Uh-huh.
yeah. So
Best player so far, like throughout the entirety of the season, has been Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. Okay.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In terms of assists, Lamine Yamal obviously is the leader with
Yeah.
11. Rafinha right behind him with 8. Robert Lewandowski combined with goals and assists with 27. Kylian Mbappe with 25. Rafinha with 21. Okay, so that's the stats right now in La Liga.
Yeah,
All
not
right,
bad.
solid.
I mean, it's close though. Everything's close to one another.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. But look at that. already a change to be made. Ron Rajo for Frankie de Jong at the halftime space.
He
Guys,
had
we were
enough.
talking about it. We were talking
He had
about it.
enough. He had
Mhm.
enough, bro. You know, I'm bringing Frankie this.
Yeah.
This could be a good. This could be the game for Frankie to, like, like make it, because again with Frankie, like, we know that with Frankie he's good at, soaking the
Yep.
pressure and, take the tempo slowly. So I feel like this is the game for him. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But all right, NJ.
Alright, man.
Good to talk to you in the halftime space. If you're there for the match reaction, I'll
Yep.
see you then. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Second half about to get underway. We were talking about it in the halftime space, guys. How even though Ron Araujo, he was having a good game, in this type of situation, you do need players that can be more creative, and that's why Ron Araujo is being subbed off. It's not because he's having a bad game. I think Ron Araujo, he's been good. He's been very good in certain moments. It's just that we do need to give it to that back line, and on top of that, the midfield. Any news and updates on Valdez? As of right now, Dorian, no updates. I'm looking right here on news, and nothing has come up. I don't think it's anything too serious in regards to Balde, because he was because he was able to walk perfectly after.
Yeah, Barcelona looking to ratchet the pressure up on Real Madrid, of course, failing to win. And very quickly, that dynamic will completely change and will offer Real Madrid a chance to climb back within touching distance with a win tomorrow. Of course, Atletico Madrid not in action here in this city until Monday night, when they play bottom club Valladolid. De Jong getting his first touch.
Yeah, and look at the lineup. It's more of a 4-3-3 now than a 4-2-3-1. So that allows Pedri to occupy the inside left position, Fermin inside right, and they have more players now in those pocket spaces in front of the 16-yard box.
Gerard Martin involved. He was that first half substitution. Little recovery required there by Tapia.
Let's see how Barcelona are going to break down Leganes right here.
Possession in this area of the field, Alex, in this first 45 minutes, but didn't do an awful lot with it.
No, and you need to give credit to Leganés for that, because they dropped and they allowed Barcelona to have the ball, the possession in their own half, but they rarely conceded chances, and this is all about being focused, being compact.
What's crazy, now that I look at it, guys, Barcelona, they've had 6 shots, but none of them have been on target. Is this the first time under Hansi Flick in which Barcelona they haven't registered a shot on target in the first half?
12,500 capacity at the stadium, which is about 15 miles south of the Bernabeu. And interestingly, Alex, when you look at Barcelona's trips to Madrid this season, they've done better against the bigger teams in Madrid, haven't they? Obviously, a thumping win in the Clásico 4-0. They also scored 4 at Atleti, but then you go down the ranks. A narrow win against Rayo Vallecano, and Getafe held them to a draw.
Oh my God! An own goal! Oh my goodness! Barcelona with a godsend right there.
Who put it past his own keeper at full stretch, and Barcelona didn't have to wait long at the start of this second half.
Right at the start of the second half, Barcelona, they do score. That's great. That's absolutely amazing. Gerard Martin with the cross, was it? Good work, guys. Good work.
Just the sort of cross they were unable to deliver in the first 45 minutes, Alex. Gerard Martin involved.
Yeah, dispossessing Oscar Rodriguez.
Great tackle from Gerard Martin. No, it's Rafinha who gives the cross.
To have time and space. This ball was so sweet, trying to find the space in behind the defender and right in front of the goalkeeper. Robert Lewandowski was sneaking.
Mistake from the Leganes defender.
His 100th goal.
Let's go. We take that, man. We will absolutely take that. We would take that.
And he ended up scoring, putting the ball in the back of the net. This is
we take that, man.
For Leganés. And this is the perfect start for the second half of Barcelona. They are already up in the scoreline, and they have Pedri, Frankie de Jong, and Fermin to move the ball around in the middle of the park.
Nice, Frankie. You're into space right here. Find Rafinha.
As you said, almost the first time that they've managed to find that sort of space. And it came from that tackle from Gerard Martin, didn't it? It's trapped two players upfield and lots of space for Rafinha.
Yeah, Leganes were twice unlucky because Rosier gets caught when trying to overlap his teammate, and then Jorge Sainz trying to block that sweet cross by Rafinha ends up scoring an own goal.
Yamal pleading his case, but to no avail.
No foul.
The officials.
I knew Martin with them lanky legs will pay off one day. Good tackle from Martin, stopped the dangerous attack. Not only did Gian Martin stop a very dangerous counterattack, but he also started the attack right there. Because that tackle right here, it gives Rafinha the opportunity to make that cross. There we go.
But it's too late. And Robert Lewandowski, he didn't even touch the ball, but he played a part.
Yeah. Gerard Martin, Rafinha, and Lewandowski, all key right there.
Do something, or it would be a tap in for Lewandowski.
Yep, it's a pick your poison situation for the defender, but it's also related to the delivery. The delivery was
and own goal,
really perfect, right in behind the defender.
Right here, the own goal.
To turn and to face his own goal. But
own goal from the Leganes player, and then this tackle from Gerard Martin that led to it. He's improving a lot under Hansi Flick, fair enough. He's a solid backup. He's never going to replace Balde out there on the left-hand side. But that's Fermin. But that's exactly what you want from a backup. To just put in consistent performances and show good level. And fair enough, he's been doing that. There we go.
3 halves of scoreless football against Leganés. Barcelona finally breaking through, albeit via the own goal.
This is terrible for Leganés, Adrian, because everything that you talk at halftime, all the messages like keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna have a chance at the counterattack. Don't lose focus. That goes down the drain.
All right here, Fermin. No.
Trying to provide a tee up Fermin Lopez.
Right there, Fermin Lopez was asking the pass for like a low-driven pass.
By the way, he's never scored against Leganés. It's his second game against them.
And now Leganes, they have to play expansive football. Paulo Torre warming up. Interesting.
Almeria and Las Palmas being the others. Here's De Jong. Martinez. Martin back inside to De Jong.
And this is what Barcelona have to do for the rest of the match. Move the ball around, just control the tempo of the match.
It's been sensational, hasn't he? He's there to win the ball again, but the foul committed.
He was the third choice at the beginning of the season for the holding midfielder position. First, Marc Bernal, then Marc Casado, and finally, Frankie de Jong. He is finally displaying his quality, displaying what we saw when he was playing for Ajax in 2019. It took him a while, but this is something that you also need to give credit to Hansi Flick for. He has improved all the players of the squad of Barcelona. Pedri is playing a much better soccer than last year. Frankie de Jong,
Inigo Martinez, Rafinha, Lewandowski. Everyone has improved under Hansi Flick.
Has improved a lot, so he is responsible for this level, this amazing level of soccer that his players are displaying. This is pretty much the same squad that played last year under Xavi, plus a goalkeeper out of retirement.
Yeah. And their biggest acquisition, Danny Olmo's just had more occasional contributions, doesn't he? He was held out of this one.
He's expected to make a comeback, or at least to be ready if needed against Dortmund.
Yeah, I'm sure, given his Bundesliga background, he'd be rather keen to make an entrance, won't he, in Dortmund? Just look at this foul committed.
That's foul, no? These low blocks are so tough on Fermin. Never understood the Gerard Martin hate. He comes on as a second man and does his job.
Fair to say,
Solid backup for
Yeah, that's his role. He's not going to be a Balde replacement.
to produce backup players that are ready to step up if needed. You don't need to sign a 20.
Those are the
million
perfect
dollar,
players to rely on from La Masia. You know, La Masia players are there. You know, obviously if they're exceptional, they could be starters. You know, you have your Lamine Yamal, your Pau Cuarsí, etc., etc. But you know, you also have your backups that serve as a foundation for the squad.
quite a clip this season. Looking to make it
You know, your Jean Martins, oh Rafinha, lovely little piece of skill right here.
little blip at the turn of the year.
You know, your Marc Casados, Ansu Fatis.
Against tonight, that blip, a long receding memory. Lamine Yamal
Poor shot.
delivering that.
A lot of fans know that Jean Martin is a backup. People think he's the next world beater.
He's not having his best game today. He started off pretty well. The first 5 minutes of Barcelona, and especially of Lamine Yamal, were quite interesting, but slowly but steadily, he just fell into that into the trap that Leganés were setting up for all the attack of Barcelona. We just saw Munir El Haddadi, another former Barcelona player, warming up for Leganés. They've got offensive players that they can bring on, not only Munir, also Miguel de la Fuente, a big number 9, and especially Juan Cruz, number 11, who can play as a right winger or left wing back. Interesting switch of positions. Former Betis player that can create some trouble on the ball.
Came in tonight, Leganés as the second lowest goal scorers in the league, having managed just 29. Against the team who are just miles ahead of the competition in that department. Barcelona had 20 more than Real Madrid in La Liga.
What are the other teams that Real Madrid and Real Madrid playing against Deportivo Alavés and Atletico Madrid playing against Real Valladolid? Ooh.
Really well to help it on. Gerard Martin's cross. Trying to pick out Lewandowski. Fermin Lopez.
Oh, Fermin Lopez! No!
Oh,
No, Fermin!
the finishing touch, everything but the goal for Fermin Lopez.
Oh my goodness.
Diego Armando Fermin Lopez.
Diego Armando
Wow.
Fermin Lopez.
What a play.
What a play
Defensive
from
Fermin.
Fermin.
Played advantage, and then look at the composure.
Oof,
controlling the
1,
ball,
2.
Just getting rid of 2 players in just
No way.
such a tiny space. And I think he was aware. He was aware that he was about to score the goal of his life, and somehow he missed it.
No, that's a bad miss.
After all that brilliant work, Alex, it was almost the simplest thing he had to do was slot it home.
Oh my goodness, man. That would have been a golazo from Fermin.
He did. Bad choices, and probably,
Brother did
not
he did all the hard stuff. All he had to do was score.
But you don't know how
Scoring it on target.
you produced a great move, and when you're about to finish it, there's that thought in the back of your head. It's like, oof, you're about to score a golazo, and this is when you miss it. Yeah, no, sure.
Would have been one of the goals of the season, man.
First time really in the second half, Rozier's cross dealt with it. Just brought on Juan Cruz. Quite get to see who departed.
Oh, he missed from so close as well.
That was the young 18-year-old.
Fermin is stud. Every time he actually gets game time, he does something crazy. He's talented, absolutely talented. Change Camp now to Fermin Lopez Stadium just for that. Build him a statue.
And it's a straight swap. Juan Cruz is a left-footed player. He loves playing as an inverted winger on the right, but he's going to stay on the left.
Altamira is sloppy in possession. Seems to be catching. Likewise, Pedri. Juan Cruz had a game to remember against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey, and he scored twice. Ultimately, it was a 3-2 defeat. Leganes had won.
No, Lamine, you can't lose it like that.
The league.
Foul.
In 2025, at least. And 2 in both.
They're in trouble because they're losing steam in the second leg of the championship, and rivals that were struggling in that relegation zone or around that relegation zone, the likes of Valencia, Espanyol.
What's funny is Olmo would do the exact same thing but finish. Yeah.
That puts them in trouble because that reduces.
Olmo thrives in those type of situations. But yeah, sadly that he's injury prone. One of the negatives. Quality player, but only available for a certain amount of matches. If I was Hansi Flick, simple. You play him for the games against Real Madrid and the games in the Champions League. Simple as that. No.
Was there
No.
appearance of a handball there? The cross from Rosier. Referee had a good look. Menendez Maceo indicating he thought it hit the chest. But they push on regardless. Altamira's follow-up cross, and that will be a corner. Now, will there be anything that's worth looking at?
It hits the elbow.
Nah, he has it right there.
It comes off the side of Íñigo Martínez. It's not a straight impact.
Nothing.
Nothing.
From
the referee, wasn't it? Credit him. I think you got that right. And here's the follow-up corner. Ooh, a header was available there just for a minute for Sergio Gonzalez. He seemed to slip. He tried to plant himself. Now Barcelona looking to hit on the counter.
Nice.
Here's the replay.
Nah, it hits his armpit.
Handball by Gerard Martin here. The ball goes straight into the armpit. I don't think that is.
Nah, that's not a penalty, man.
A penalty either.
That's not a penalty. Leganes is calling for a handball, but clearly hits Inigo's body first. It does.
Had the opportunity, didn't he?
Not only does it hit his body first, but also, he has his arm tucked in.
The critical moment. Rafinha looking for a similar.
Ooh, Leo, good try.
Just trying to guide it home with the deftest of headers. And so nearly doing just that.
Yeah, and this is what Luis Garcia was asking of Barcelona in the second half. So start feeding Lewandowski with good deliveries from the flanks. In this second half, Rafinha is staying in wider positions. Every time that Gerard Martin joins the attack, sometimes he underlaps. So he goes through the central corridors and Rafinha stays wide. And I think that's a proper recipe. You need your most dangerous players to receive the ball in wide areas, especially if you have Lewandowski right in the box.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the first half trying to get to 100 goals for Barcelona. Needs one more. Stuck on 99. It would be the third team he scored 100 for. 344 for.
Bro, can we register a shot on target? Wait.
kind of referee.
Okay. So wait, let me share this right here.
Rafinha was making the run to be facing the goal with his left foot, with facing the left foot for a shot, and Pedri had him.
Yeah, we still haven't registered a shot on target. All of our shots have been off.
See, Rafinha's positioning in this second half is wider than in the first.
Yeah, bro.
That also creates some space for Pedri, who's now in a
There we go.
position, but Pedri replicates what Fermin is doing on the right-hand side. So he's playing more of an inside left position in this second half.
There we go.
Quick turnaround, of course, for Barcelona with the second leg, albeit from a position of power and comfort in Dortmund, coming home Tuesday night. It was the prior moment where there was, as you said, a cannon off the chest of Inigo Martinez up into the arm. Cisse. Sense of life over the last couple of minutes from Leganes. Javi Hernandez with the cross. Eric Garcia guiding to safety for now.
Guess to bring Ferran to bring up that shots no target more. Lamine has also been quiet this game. He's been quiet. Leganes have been doing a really good job of trying to limit Barcelona right here. You know, Pedri needs to rest. He's been off recently. Ferran Torres coming on right now.
After 30 games slip in the league for nearly 20 years, the last time it happened.
Both Ferran and Gavi coming on.
Real Madrid's title with him in 2007 when Barcelona did have a 4-point lead and lost it on the final day.
That was a year of the Camurazo. So when Espanyol got an unexpected draw at Camp Nou in the penultimate fixture of the season, Real Madrid pulled a comeback simultaneously at La Romareda at Zaragoza, and that was the end of the title race for
yeah, okay, so Lewandowski coming off, Ferran coming on, and I'm guessing what, Pedri? Pedri? No, Fermin for Gavi. Okay.
He makes way. Ferran Torres and Gavi coming in. Fermin Lopez also on his way out.
So Ferran will play number 9. Gavi will play the same role as Fermin, so being the most advanced midfielder and trying to make those runs into the space.
Just before that, Borja Jimenez bringing one Neu on. Here's number 17 for the home team. Cameroonian. This is the man from Guinea. Cisse slipping it wide. Nice touch from Rosier. Nicely worked. If Altamira can get there, he can. Provide the Barcelona defence with something to think about. Another corner. Was it offside? It appears it was.
And then good defensive move by Gerard Martin, not committing, not even having the temptation of going in a sliding tackle against Altamira. That's good defensive concepts.
All right. Ferran and Gavi. Great to see Gavi back. I want to see Gavi get like a good run of games where he's able to play, you know, a solid amount of minutes.
Gerard Martin deliver the ball early.
This is what Ronald Araujo couldn't do in the first half. Just drive the ball up the pitch and play short passes.
Lamine Yamal.
Oh, nice, Lamine.
Lovely return pass.
Oh, Lamine went for goal again.
The vision from Ferran Torres to get that back to Lamine Yamal was exquisite, wasn't it?
Absolutely. This looks like change. Rafinha is playing as number 10 now, and Gavi is the one on the left-hand side.
Interesting. Seen Gavi out there at certain times before this season, haven't we? But too often, this is another chance for Altamira to whip in across.
This is definition of a scumbag of a win. No shots on target and still win.
Rosier switches back outside.
No way. Wait, please tell me it's offside. Yes, offside.
Has the flag gone up?
Ooh.
Will it be looked at?
Please tell me it's offside. Yeah, it's offside. Yeah, baby.
It needs to be looked at, does it?
Now, miles off.
No, wait. Don't celebrate yet because I'm offside. But this is a good spell for Leganés. Barcelona is dropping deeper and they're losing possession of the ball.
A little warning sign. That bell's ringing a little bit. The Barcelona defense.
Well, this is the goal number 30 that gets disallowed in all season, in all competitions, for after an offside. So Barcelona saved like 30 goals, thanks to the offside trap so far this season.
And the infamous high line, Alex, although it wasn't that high on that occasion, was it?
Not this time. But still, they're so well synchronized, and it doesn't matter.
All right, there we go.
There because you've got Eric Garcia, who's not a usual member of the defense.
I was going to say, like, that backfired.
Yeah, they're still in sync.
No, he was outside there. Yeah.
Koundé trying to jab it through. Now it's Hansi Flick's turn to be called offside.
Yeah, Rafinha was like a whole body length offside.
Being able to compete against Barcelona, against Real Madrid, against Atletico here, just with this squad that obviously lacks quality, is all about the manager and the way he makes them play. We just saw that chance by Lamine Yamal. The one-touch pass by Ferran Torres was delightful.
Inside the final 20 minutes now, Barcelona striking early in the second half, but unable to increase the comfort level at all. On a night in which they haven't been at their absolute best, Alex, but that's the sort of nights on which championships are often won, isn't it? Can you win when things aren't ticking? And you have to go somewhere awkward like Butake and get 3 points.
And nobody was expecting otherwise, to be honest. When you go to Butarque, when you go to Getafe, you mentioned that they got a draw there. You know the kind of game that you're facing. So you need to be patient, you need to be critical, and you also need to be focused.
Plenty of excuses for distractions and
nice
concentration. And all that's going on with them.
There's a lot of distractions indeed. It's the Champions League. Everyone talking about how well they're playing this season. The conversation of the Ballon d'Or with Rafinha and Lamine Yamal involved. The chances of winning a treble as well. There's too many distractions, actually.
Hansi Flick with a steely gaze, keeping his eyes firmly on the prize. One game at a time ethos.
That's a Cholo Simeone.
Okay.
That's partido a partido.
Well, they all have it, don't they?
Yeah.
Still some work to do here. Again, across the finishing line, and
Right here, Lamine Yamal.
those 3 points safe. Here's an
Koundé.
opportunity to
Find
do
Lamine,
just
find
that,
Lamine.
though. Koundé
There you go.
releasing Yamal.
Put across.
That could be a
Not the best cross.
Hanging for Rafinha. So Robert Lewandowski now to aim for with those crosses.
Yeah. The unsung heroes for sure this season are Inigo, Frankie, Ferran, Fermin. Agree or disagree?
Different strategy.
Unsung heroes.
He's so into the game. Even though he has
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're unsung. I think they're actually like pretty decently rated.
coming out of goal to intercept
I think
that.
like
More
maybe
offensive
unsung.
should be
Let's see.
Diego Garcia,
I'm looking at
and
Eric
Munir
Garcia for
El
sure.
Hammadi, who will probably play
Fermin.
on one of the flanks.
And because when I think unsung, I think of like superly underrated, simple. Who else?
Daddy's best work this season is
You can maybe throw in
with a Ray run. So Leganes reached the quarterfinals.
Fermin. Wait, did I say Fermin? Eric Garcia, Fermin. You could mention J.J. Martin. I was thinking about that. I'm thinking, has J.J. Martin played enough? Has J.J. Martin played enough to be unsung? Because like when Paulo Torre has been available, he's been fantastic. You know.
Tapia, the Peruvian international. Jimenez.
Key in certain games. If he isn't in the team, Butler doesn't get rest. I agree. No.
Oh, what a chance for Diego Garcia. Perfect cross right into his stride.
Wow.
Barcelona defense was caught.
Wow.
Yeah, no one was really putting any pressure on Juan Cruz, and that's dangerous because he can send these kind of crosses. The cross was perfect. The run, the timing of that run by Diego Garcia was perfect as well. Obviously, the effort wasn't. They're the most offensive team that
Thank goodness.
now Leganes can present.
Thank goodness they didn't score.
Diego Garcia up front with Dani Raba on the right-hand side, Juan Cruz on the left, and Munir playing as a number 10.
Throwing everything.
Heart legit stopped right there. Super close to scoring.
And Barcelona negotiate this final quarter of an hour. There's a gift that will do just that. Lamine Yamal.
Ferran.
Oh, it's headed across the face.
No, Ferran. Unsung hero, whoever is the fitness coach. There we go. That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Most of the opportunity that ensued.
When you continue betting, the fitness coach, the tactical coach, you know, because Hansi Flick, he manages everything, but you know, I'm pretty sure he has staff who look and analyze the videos.
Now you start to feel it, and you start to be way more wobbly on the ball.
Wobbly is the perfect term, Alex.
Thank you, sir.
Still very much hanging in the balance here. Here's Pedri trying to inject some class into the proceedings. He's done just that with a lovely ball.
Lamine Yamal killed Koundé.
Lamine Yamal and Koundé combining. Koundé showed too much though. To Sergi.
Nice.
Well, Dani Raba with some exuberance deep inside his own half.
Oh, nice mistake from Leganés right here.
With a giveaway pounced upon by De Jong.
If Leganés are going to be making mistakes, we have to take advantage of that. Checking on player-wise, though. Most likely Eric Garcia, if that's the case. Yeah, most likely Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia or Fermin, I would say. I would say those are the unsung heroes. Because Inigo Martinez, he's been solid. You know, I don't think he's been underrated.
That would have been his first touch of the ball as well. Now Kubasi is going to come on for Hansi Flick.
Garcia, straight swap.
Wait, but why Eric and not Inigo?
He played an amazing game, Garcia, against Dortmund. Just not refusing the contact with Girassi, who was.
Oh, Rafinha, great job.
He's what a center back.
Rafinha to Martin, De Jong. Barcelona trying to reassert their authority here. Nicely worked combination. Martin's eventual cross repelled, but a corner for the visitors.
Come on. What in the world are these substitutions? I'm so confused.
Rafinha receiving the chance of the Barcelona fans who are right there at this corner. Pay attention to Íñigo Martínez. He is always the target.
Rafinha trying to set
No!
just that.
Oh, we almost scored the second.
Half bounce cannoning off a defensive leg and behind for another corner.
Gabi with the flick at the near post. Nobody.
Gabi with the flick, but almost another own goal by the same defender. Dude, Koundé needs some rest. Dude, Koundé and Pedri have been playing like 90 minutes for the past the entirety of the season, basically. Koundé has played 100 straight matches or something. He hasn't started every single one, but he's basically been played every single game.
Rafinha able to pick it off. Back to Dimitrovic and a long thump forward.
I wonder, other than the goalkeeper,
On the highway marked Route 1.
has that ever been a thing?
He's so good doing this, Frankie de Jong. Breaking lines just with driving.
Glides, doesn't he? Absolutely glides through challenges. Martin. Not quite the quality of cross he would have desired. As Leganés were temporarily stretched. Still, they seek the knockout.
Koundé needs to show up late every now and then if he gets some Dan red. What do you mean? There's a stat for Koundé. He has played 100 consecutive matches for I think both club and country. And I was wondering if any other Barcelona player or player in general comes to mind when you think about that amount of games, other than the goalkeeper. You know, because the goalkeeper, you know, let's say, you know, Neuer. I'm pretty sure there's been times where he's played 100 straight games, you know. Maybe the cup competitions could be like a... Oh. No foul. I wonder what's the longest streak of a player.
The way he was ready for picking that pass. After Barcelona got dispossessed, and now Rafinha is still hurting.
Yeah. Well, he clattered into Jorge Sainz, didn't he? The man who scored the own goal here. And stayed down as a result. The referee deemed it a fair challenge. The old-fashioned shoulder charge. El Haddadi and Frankie de Jong in a spirited discussion. Yeah, I don't think there was a foul there, Alex.
No. He was just shielding his position. Rafinha just ran straight into him. And then Frankie de Jong and Murillo were in discussion with something that happened between them.
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy. Koundé hasn't gotten actual rest since like 2023, I believe. If he feels good and the fitness giving him the proper treatment, should be good to go. Koundé is built like a proper athlete. No, Koundé as an athlete is top notch, world class, literally world class.
Tackle by Gerard Martin, launches Rafinha with time and space. The delivery looking for Lewandowski, but Jorge Sainz intercepted it and scored.
World class.
Statistically, at least, there's another chance created by Rafinha.
World class from Koundé.
Goal, but it was certainly chance created. He's second in the league in that department, behind only Alex Paella. Real. He's still feeling the effects of running into Jorge Sainz.
That's rare for any sport, unless you're LeBron. No, what I'm thinking is of Messi. I'm thinking of CR7. I'm thinking of those type of players. You know, just beasts.
It's not been easy for Barcelona. They haven't been at their best.
They basically have played every single game, but
They have some defending to do to get over the line. Chesney has to hurry because Garcia was bearing down. Minimal. Pick up the pieces. Did so. It's Pedri.
okay.
Another corner for Barca.
Simply hide on the wall from Rosier. Trying to shave some time off the clock.
And Rosier went fishing, didn't he?
Yeah.
Deep into the Barcelona technical area. Rafinha's corner. Nobody close to it. The Barcelona shirt, easily repelled. 3 games coming away tomorrow on ESPN Plus. We'll see Real Madrid on their trip to Alaves.
Tomorrow in the morning, Deportivo Alaves versus Real. Okay. Even Hansi's getting on the phone. I think CR7 barely missed games. The guy was physically fit. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna ask right here. What's the
Athletic Club of Bilbao playing Rayo Vallecano? It'll be a 2:55 start.
What's the longest
And one final game
playing streak for a
Atletico Madrid against bottom club Real Valladolid.
football player?
Dion, while you were seeing those fixtures, got himself a booking.
I like his attitude. He's showing his teeth today.
Okay, so the longest playing streak, Brad Friedel. He made 310 consecutive Premier League appearances between August 2004 and November 2012 for Blackburns, Aston Villa, and Tottenham. Frank Lampard, he went on 164 consecutive Premier League matches. Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister.
He wasn't happy the other day on the press conference ahead of the first leg.
Wow, so 310, yeah. So the longest playing streak is a goalkeeper. That's crazy.
Think that this is the only thing that I'm capable to do, but and they have
no. What I'm saying, NJ, is consecutive matches. Because I think like Zlatan, he was injury prone at times.
Got booked. He's tread a little gingerly here, doesn't he?
He's overexcited. He was dealing with his new friend Mira Ladadi. And you can
Yeah,
tell
but that's a
from-
goalkeeper. I'm looking for now. Oh, okay. So outfield, Frank Lampard. Right here. Frank Lampard with 164.
Who has some space inside. Manages to give it away. Cutting element of precision just at times has not quite been there for Barcelona tonight. Very far from at full flow.
Frankie showing his passion for the club out there right now.
As he said, so often Leganés make things awkward for visitors here, no matter how illustrious those visitors are.
You cannot win all games by 4 or 5 goals of difference. Sometimes you need to win an ugly game that makes you closer to the title.
Leganés still come in search of an equaliser though. Cross guided away to safety. Now,
Pedri, no.
Pass, but covering away from signs. Denying Pedri.
This is what I love about Lamine Yamal's passing ability. He always sends the ball into the space of his teammate.
The touch from Pedri wasn't the best.
And forcing them to slow down.
These are the type of games you win with great, yeah. And the commentators are talking about it. And not every single game you're going to be winning, 4 or 5 nils, playing some beautiful football. At times, you're going to need to be winning just playing scrappy football.
All the owners back on Real Madrid. That awkward trip to Alaves tomorrow. Is there still time here for the home team to change that narrative? Nayu. Sergio Gonzalez had to win that race. Back to Dimitrovic, who to take an extra.
Oh my God!
This may work out beautifully for Leganés.
Nice, Inigo Martinez. What a fucking tackle! Oh my God! Look at that flick. Munir was in tons of space. Oh my goodness!
That was good. He was just getting ready for the shot, and with his weaker foot, with
Inigo
his
Martinez. Inigo Martinez. What a tackle! That's a game-winning tackle right there. Game-winning.
Never know, will we, whether El Haddadi had
He won the tackle with this. He won the game.
That was a good ball by Dimitrovic, who's a very skilled goalkeeper when it comes to playing with the feet. He also scored when he was playing for Eibar.
Wow, look at that.
He's been playing in Spain for more than a decade already.
Yep.
Come on, boys. Let's close the game out.
Less than 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Barcelona looking for win number 22 of the season in what is game number 31. LaLiga will have just 7 left after tonight. As they've got that Copa del Rey fixture. The final against Real Madrid coming up.
Let me.
Now then.
Killed Pedri.
Oh,
Pedri.
hurdling the challenge. Can he finish it off? Pedri goes
No.
in the end.
Offside.
Denying him.
Brother looking like prime Phil Jones out there.
It's all for nothing. The offside come up.
Yeah, Pedri was wide open.
Yeah, Lamine Yamal was offside.
Lamine Yamal was in an offside position. This is Munir chances. Look at this. Look at this tackle. Beautiful. Touching the ball, denying Munir. Gerard Martin playing his part as well. Inigo Martinez. What a leader.
That's one of the best center backs in the world right there. That's one of the best center backs in the world. What a tackle from Inigo Martinez. Oh my goodness.
The final in Seville. The final 30 seconds here.
How many shots on target did our 3 make? We on target 3. 3 shots on target.
Another positive step here.
So let me see. I'm assuming it's
Hansi Flick will very much consider
the one from Lamine Yamal. Just Rafinha.
On we go to Dortmund for the return.
There we
It
go,
was indeed.
boys.
Wasn't the offensive firepower
The
we
3
saw from
points. We
Steve
get the
and
3
Hansi Flick's men?
points.
In fact, it was an own goal.
What
Might
a
be the
victory,
only goal of
man.
This one. Jorge Sainz putting past his own keeper early in the second half.
What a victory, man. What a victory for the boys. Oh, man. It was a tough game, guys. It was a tough game. We won through an own goal, but, we're in the business end of the season, guys. What matters is that we now have a 7-point lead over Real Madrid, with Real Madrid having a game in hand. Barcelona, top of La Liga. We're going to be wanting to continue the winning sensations that we've been building in over these past couple of weeks. Szczesny, man of the match. Wow, interesting. Okay. I'm assuming for the save against in the first half. I'm assuming. Okay. Solid. Inigo, man of the match. I mean, Inigo has been, bro, I'll give it to Inigo. I give it to Inigo. For this tackle alone, I give it to him. For this tackle alone, I would give it to him. Wow. Absolutely wow. But all right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the watch along. I'll be back in a couple minutes with the match reaction. We'll talk about the game in a little bit more detail. But as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.
Wow.